Okay. Carrie Underwood's been waiting all day for Sunday night, and so have I. It's been an extremely stress-free day as I go and get my remote. My Cardinals had a bye week, a desperately needed one, and all but the 49ers had a bye week as well for the NFC West. I still don't know how that thing works, why some days you have only two players taking the two teams taking the week off, 4, 6, 8. There's no rhyme or reason. Aaron Rodgers is being introduced. And some crazy funky uniforms the Steelers are wearing. The Packers are wearing the all-white unis and helmets. Mike and Chris are ready to call the game. And it looks like this game's being played in Pittsburgh. Yes, it is. So, hey, right, my day's gone relatively well since the Niners lost. A little bit closer the Cardinals are. So, it was another any given Sunday day. The Jets won their first game against the Bengals in Cincinnati. I don't know what the heck happened there because the Cincinnati was in the lead pretty much the whole game. It wasn't the game in my local area. I had, with a lot of the NFC West teams off, only the Niners and Houston on Fox. And then on CBS, it was... Who was it again? Oh, yeah, Ravens-Bears. The Ravens won handily. It was a lot of losing teams beating teams with winning records. So the Jets and the Ravens weren't the only ones. Actually, all of the AFC East teams won. The Dolphins upset the Falcons, but the Patriots did the expected against the Browns, even though the Browns took an early lead. Eagles beat the Giants, got revenge for that loss 2 weeks ago. The Bills got right against the Panthers. The Buccaneers did not let the Saints get to them. They beat them up badly. So did the Colts when it came to the Titans. And the Broncos beat the Cowboys rather handily as well. So with a shortage of games during the day, wasn't much to talk about. This game will ultimately be interesting for a variety of reasons. I mentioned one of them. These teams previously met in the Super Bowl in 2012, Super Bowl 45, or maybe it was 2011. At any rate, the Packers won that one, denied the Steelers a shot at seventh heaven, so to speak. And both teams are wanting to make sure they stay in the win column and above 500. And as we look at the standings, Detroit also got a bye week, so Green Bay wins, they'll still stay on top of the NFC North. If Pittsburgh wins, they'll still stay on top of the AFC North. And despite the loss to Cincinnati, they're still 4-2, so they'll stay in the Both of them will stay in the above 500 area. One will just be higher at it more than the other. The net points for both of the teams are very thin when it comes to playing the opposition. So if both teams play to their potential, it's going to be a close one. And we're back to the action and getting ready for the kickoff. Melissa Stark is saying that Rodgers said it's not a revenge game. Yeah, right. And Hitler was a decent human being. Let's see. Gonna adjust the blinds again. A little better. For what it's worth, this might be my last Sunday night football game of this season. Starting a new job with crazy training hours. So weekends will no longer be free. But we'll see how it goes. It's a job I can at least bike to. So I'll be able to shed some of these unwanted pounds. Chris Boswell's ready to kick it off, and there it goes. Savion Williams is returning it. He's at the 30, trying to break tackles, but doesn't make past the 30. And we've already got a flag. Sean Hockley is the head man on the referee crew. He's talking over with the umpire, and now we're going to get the call. Holding by the receiving team. Number 30, Brooks is the guilty party, and they're introducing the Green Bay offense now. Ooh, Christian Watson's making his debut for the season. There's an Arizona guy on their offensive line. So it's been moved back to the 20. Love is doing the audible thing. Hands it off to Josh Jacobs, who gets to the 24. So those banana setups for the Steelers don't have any striping on the back. So slightly different from the usual classic look. God, what a classic look. Jailbird uniforms. So the front has a Y on it. I don't know why. A pass to Watson. Makes his first catch of the season for a very short gain. So he missed 6 games. And they'll sorely need him. Jaden Reed's out with that broken collarbone. Matthew Golden's also in the starting lineup too, for what it's worth. So the rookie has earned his keep after last week. Love in the shotgun, back to pass. Gets it off, but it's incomplete. Dobbs was the intended receiver. Of course, earlier in the week, last week, the Vikings lost to the Chargers. So they're the only NFC North team with a losing record. And just a little too far for Dobbs to reel in. Whelan will be the punter. Gets it off. Caught at the 15. And that's where he is tackled. Nice open field tackle. And here comes Rodgers. The helmets are yellow too. Very not used to looking at that. The ball ended up going to the 20 for what it's worth. I don't know how I missed that. Jalen Warren got the first run. They're now introducing the Steelers offense. Rodgers is under center now, 2nd and 7. Back to pass after faking the handoff. Gets it to his massive tight end. Oh, wait. An eligible receiver that normally plays tackle. Spencer Anderson, number 74, made the catch. So he was an extra tight end. That had me fooled. Third and 3. Rodgers is now in shotgun. Empty backfield. He'll be doing a lot of audibling. That's his nature. He's back to pass, scrambling from his right. Throws it deep. Oh, he's got a guy open! And unfortunately, he couldn't stay in bounds. That was number 10. Roman Wilson's the one who caught it. Just got his feet in bounds. And he ran out at the 28 of the Packers. 45-yard gain. Pitch to Warren, who gets about 5. 11 minutes to go in the quarter. He shaved. And to think this game isn't a big deal to him. He actually shaved. Ball's on the 23.5. Man in motion. Fakes the handoff. Passes it on an attempted wide receiver screen. Metcalf caught the ball but only gained a yard, and we've got another flag. Pass interference on the offense, on Metcalf himself. So not only did the defensive player get pushed by Metcalf, he got blocked by another receiver before the pass was even thrown. So you could have called potentially 2 penalties on that one. So it's now 2nd and 15. Rodgers barking directions. Back to pass now. Gets it off quickly to Warren, who gets nothing. Edgerrin Cooper with a nice open field tackle. Under 10 minutes. And I can hear some people yelling, "Go, Pack, go," in the stands. Pittsburgh is usually a team that sells out with its home fans well, but not everyone can be a Steeler fan. Rodgers back to pass. He is sacked. Rashawn Gary, who got misidentified by Tirico as Khalil Mack. Same number, different teams. I don't know if Micah Parsons could be counted for a half sack. He was the one who came after him first. So 4th and 20. Chris Boswell's going to attempt a field goal, 56 yards. And there it goes. Yep, good. So the Steelers get something out of it. Rodgers looking disappointed. No question about it. So we go to commercial break. So in other sports news, in baseball, the World Series is tied up a game apiece between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. My Portland Timbers, early in the middle of the week, won the play-in game against... Who did they play? Of course, they don't make it easy to click on the bracket right away. Oh, yeah, Real Salt Lake. They got out to a great start on that one. Vancouver's playing Dallas right now in Vancouver. Philly beat Chicago. The other team that won the play-in game, this time for the East, and Philly leads the series there. And Portland's actually going to play San Diego later tonight. The Burn Whitecaps game is at halftime already, so... They really spread the games out for some reason. Oh, yeah. Since I'm in Portland, there was a small issue with our head coach for the Blazers. I'll get to that eventually. The kickoff has been done again. Williams is returning it to the 20, 25, 30, and brought down just short of the 35. 30-yard return. Now they'll introduce the Steelers defense. That's probably the first instance where I've seen a majority of people not mention their college. It's a toss to Jacobs to start this drive. He gets a couple. Jacobs is tied for the second most rushing touchdowns in the NFL with 8. Hasn't gotten much yardage on average per game. I formation. Love is back to pass. He gets it off, and he gets Dobbs, who breaks a tackle and is able to get in the Steeler territory to the 40. So first big gain for the Packers. That was a gain of 24. Handoff to Jacobs once again. About a 5-yard gain. Coming on 7 minutes left in the quarter. So 2nd and 5. Love doing his audible thing in the shotgun. Back to pass. Gets a quick pass off for the first down. Again to Romeo Dobbs. Just gets beyond the yard marker. So a methodical move down the field so far. This time for the Packers. There's a Malik Heath sighting. Quick pass by Love. And guess who? The guy I just name checked, Malik Heath. And that went for a first down too. That's quite a significant gain. Nice job getting away from the tackle. So the ball's at the 16 now. Kraft is in motion. Another quick pass, and that, guess what? It goes to the guy I just name checked, Tucker Kraft, who gets into the end zone for a touchdown. No flags. Oh, yeah, it's tight ends day for some reason. I wonder why it isn't any other position's day anytime during the year. So 2 quick passes get a quick gain and a touchdown. Excuse me. And the new kicker for the Packers. Oh no, McManus is back. So I got to look up his replacement and see if he's still on the roster. I would think that you wouldn't kick a 61-yard field goal and then after 2 weeks suddenly get put on the waiver wire. So let's check that out, shall we? Havrasik. Another Wildcat. He had been a kicker for the Rams. Yeah, he didn't play last season, so he was looking to be a substitute teacher. He had only a so-so stint with the Rams that year. He was with them. His field goal percentage was 75%. He missed 3 extra points. That alone might have doomed him, although his long was 52. He is on the active roster. They have another kicker on the active roster, too, which is interesting. Oh, Mark McNamee's listed as cut. I don't know why he's still on the Packers main page for the roster, though. Oh, well, what the hell. Action. Turning to the action as I look for the remote to unmute it. McManus kicks it off, and it's going to be a touchback. And they're going to introduce the Green Bay defense. The such and such high school. It's funny. Okay, I formation for the Steelers. Rodgers is under center. Hands it off to Warren. Only 2. Oh, so the Broncos-Cowboys was the afternoon game here. And J.K. Dobbins was in fine form. And Cowboys still haven't done much to shore up that running defense. So much for that. So we've got a completion by Rodgers, but there's another flag on the play. That went to Freiermuth. Illegal shift on the offense. So Freiermuth, the guilty party, he didn't get set. Good call. Rodgers now on the gun. Back to pass. Almost intercepted. Cooper nearly cut the pass off. Bit out of his reach. Yep. So Gainwell is to Rodgers' left. He's in the gun again. Rodgers back to pass. Gets it to Freiermuth, but it's way short of a first down. It had been 3rd and 13. They got, I think, about 7. And we're under 4 minutes left to go in the quarter. Waitman will punt it for the Steelers. Gets the punt away. Keyshawn Nixon is the return man for the Packers. Oh, he muffed it, but one of his teammates was able to get on it. And he took a couple of hard shots. Number 39, Zane Anderson recovered the fumble and saved Nixon's bacon. So, let's see. Yeah, the Trailblazers coach got arrested for issues involving gambling. Supposedly rigged poker matches and tipping off bettors that certain players were not going to be in the lineup in games. Couple of current NBA players and former NBA players were indicted recently as well. And despite that, the Blazers actually beat the Warriors the day after, or the night after, I should say. Thiago Splitter, one-time Spur, is now the head coach, and he just joined the staff this summer. He had done a fine job, apparently, with the Paris basketball club team. And so, let's see. They play the Clippers tonight. It's going to be a full night of Portland sports. My Suns just lost their second in a row. They had lost to the Clippers on the 24th, and then yesterday they got shellacked by Denver. So after a good first game, they're 0-2 at this moment. And we're back in the action. Love is under center. Ball's at the 18. Fakes the handoff. Goes back to pass. And then goes back to Emmanuel Wilson. Oh! He got smashed. May have been hit out of bounds. For what it's worth, it was short of a first down. So an 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Wilson's still in the backfield. Love is under center again. It's handed off to Wilson, who may or may not have gotten the first down. He was held up right at the marker. They have him right at the marker. So they're not sure. Oh, first down. Getting close to 2 minutes left. Love gets a pass off to Tucker Kraft again, who's gets past the tackler and is down in Steelers territory and rumbles past the 40. Oh. So there's another quick pass outside. Was able to evade Joey Porter Jr. on the sideline and get some extra yardage. And now apparently the Packers are forced to take a timeout because they couldn't get the play in time. The next play, that is. So they're going over Kraft's hometown. And Kraft looks white. Timberlake, South Dakota. Nash, wherever you are, I'm sure you're proud. And it's another handoff to Wilson, who only gets a yard to the 38. Love is in the gun. Back to pass. Gets it to Golden, who loses a yard, and he'd have been better off dropping the pass. Tackled by Darius Slay before he could get to the line of scrimmage. And looks like that'll be it for the first quarter. That's it for the first quarter. I gotta get me some liquid refreshment. some organic cherry juice. Tart cherry juice. Supposed to help you sleep. Yeah. I really should have some electrolytes in the fridge for my eventual sojourn to work. But I've still got time. First days on Halloween. Well, that's a big-looking bike store. Wow. Oh, it's a bicycle museum. I think they actually had a drone flying through it. That sucker was huge. So, 3rd and 10. Love is back to pass now. Gets the pass off. Tried to get Dobbs, but he couldn't reel it in. We'll see what the Packers do now. McManus is going to try a long one. McManus is also hit from 61. This one's from 58. Up 57. Nope, short. Just about a yard short. So they're mentioning the quality of the field. Apparently, University of Pittsburgh plays the games there too, and they played there just yesterday. Well, Rodgers is back to pass. He's scrambling a bit, gets the pass off, though, to Metcalf. Short gain. Oh, handoff to Gainwell. One of the best names ever for a football player. And here's Rodgers doing his audible thing. He's under center. Gainwell's in the backfield. Rodgers pitches it to Gainwell, and he's lucky to get any yardage at all. He was tackled behind the line of scrimmage, but he stretched out, I think, to get to the line of scrimmage. Rodgers hands it off to Gainwell again. Gets 7. Xavier McKinney on the tackle for the Packers. And no huddle for the Packers here. 3rd and 3. Rodgers back to pass. And he heaves it. Oh! Almost caught by Metcalf. Carrington Ballantyne was well to defend it. Rodgers was super upset. Felt it was a catchable ball. So Boswell's going to attempt a 50-yarder, and he makes it. We're talking about Kraft mentioning how big a city Green Bay was. It's the smallest city in the NFL. Speaking of which, I gotta check out Wikipedia. As of 2020, it had 107,000+ people. Metropolitan area is said to have about 400,000 residents. And Lambeau Field hosts 80,000. So Boswell kicks it off. It'll be returned. Bo Melton returns it. He can only get to the 26. Ooh, I got a thumbs up. Thank you, whoever that was. Oh, hey there, Jade. Nice to finally see a face in chat. It's going all right. My Cardinals had a bye week, so it was relatively stress-free. We're back to the action as the Packers will be on offense. And let's see. The Lions had a bye week too. Yes, very good. So Love back to pass, and he guns it, and he overthrows Romeo Dobbs, so it's incomplete. Let's see. Okay, it's 7-6 Green Bay. Boswell's kicked 2 field goals for the Steelers. Tucker Kraft caught a pass for a touchdown for the Packers, but Brandon McManus, who's now back at kicker, missed a very long field goal. So here we had an incomplete pass to Dobbs. We got an injury timeout. So you and I can catch up. Well, regardless of which team wins, both will still be over 500. I imagine you'd love the Packers to lose, so it keeps you close to the number 1 spot, at least. My brother grew up a diehard Steelers fan, so I'm not crazy about them. So I'm less crazy about the Steelers than I am about the Packers. Let's see. As I had mentioned earlier, before anyone showed up, yeah, I know, evil to the east. The Blazers actually beat the Warriors the day after Chauncey Billups got arrested. So that was quite the story locally. And the Timbers are going to be playing in a couple minutes in the playoffs for MLS. And the Blazers will be back in action on Monday. And I'll be back in action work-wise on Friday, on Halloween. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. And I don't remember what job you have, but I hope it's a good one. I know you have your preferred drink. I've got tart cherry juice. Once I start bicycling to work, Oh, you work remotely? Congratulations. I've been trying to do that again. And unfortunately, I live in a sound and a wind tunnel. So very early in the morning, you get garbage trucks emptying the refuse from the building next to me. You get grocery trucks that deliver to the restaurant next to me. So it's always something going on to wake me up. As we have Josh Jacobs carrying it for the Packers on 2nd down. He only got a yard, so it'll be 3rd down. Yeah, always something. Oh, and then there's the leaf blowers, which are now running every day pretty much. So it is 3rd and 9. Ball's on the 27 of the Packers. Clock's winding down. Love is in the gun. Got a back to his right. Now he's back to pass. Gets it away, but because he was sacked, he did not get off that good of a throw. And we got a couple of your headbands on the field. And the ref is discussing it. Let's see what we got here. They're replaying it. And oh, So we have illegal use of hands to the face on the offense. They were going to call roughing the passer on the defense, so the penalties would offset, but there was agreement that TJ Watt was blocked into Love. Alex Highsmith got in there for good measure as well. Now, Pittsburgh declined the penalty. The punt will be deep as it is. And Whalen back to punt. The snap is away and the kick is away. Very long punt. Field at the 20 by Williams. And he scampers as much as he can before he gets out of bounds. So, well, yeah, there's a lot to like about Mike. Hey, that rhymed. I think I got a hit. I don't know if you follow any of the NFL today. Of course, the Bears lost. So I imagine you feel good about that. Oh, yeah. Dallas doing a great job increasing that running defense. In the meantime, Rodgers is back to pass. He gets it off to one of his tight ends. Oh, no, that's Skoronek. Just a very large wide receiver, number 15. Now, in terms of records against each other, that was one of the surprise wins because Lamar Jackson was still injured. We got a pitch to Jalen Warren, who gets a yard right at the 50. And the other one was the Jets beating the Bengals. After that big win against the Steelers in Cincy, they lose to the Jets, a winless team in Cincy. I imagine that I didn't see any of that game. Atlanta, I don't think played today. I think they play against the Commanders on Monday night. Oh, no, they had a bye week. Okay. So 3rd and 8. Kenneth Gainwell's now in the game as the featured back. He's to the left of Rodgers, who's in shotgun. Now Gainwell goes into motion. And it's now an empty backfield. Rodgers back to pass. He's flushed out a bit, but gets the pass off, and it's tipped! Number 33 for the Packers was able to get it off, but another one of your headbands is on the field. Preliminary indication is holding, but the question is who? Up defense. Keyshawn Nixon, the guilty party. Oh, the Dolphins. Yeah, another one of the surprise wins. The Dolphins beat the Falcons really bad. Sorry about the accidental misinformation. Jalen Warren gets the handoff. In the meantime, he gets 9. So in terms of the stats, Tagovailoa, of course, had a great game for the Dolphins. A pitch out to Warren, who gets the first down, and then some. Gets to the Packers 30. Tagovailoa really had a bounce-back game. Zach Wilson actually got in as well. It was that bad of a beatdown that they could afford to have Zach Wilson towards the end. Cousins had a decent day, you suppose. Completed 2/3 of his passes, but only for 173 yards. He was only sacked once. Didn't throw any interceptions, but didn't throw any TDs either. It's another handoff. Oh, and a nice behind the scrimmage tackle by Enagbuke, I believe is how you pronounce it. And I'm pretty sure I got that wrong. And we're under 8 minutes left in the half. Bijan Robinson did have a fumble for the Falcons. Rodgers back to pass. They do a running back screen. Doesn't work well. Only a yard gained by Gainwell. So Gainwell did not gain well on that reception. So he didn't make any big mistakes, but he wasn't spectacular either. So 3 games where teams with very bad records beat teams with somewhat better records. Although there were other games where that didn't happen. Rodgers back to pass again. He's able to get to Warren. No, Jonnu Smith, number 81. He gets 6. And Boswell's going to attempt another field goal for the Steelers. Yeah, it's the first time I saw those types of uniforms. The banana helmets and the torso. And now we got beep, 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 beep. And we got laundry on the field. False start on the offense. So Boswell will just have to kick it a little longer than usual, and probably it won't worry him. I'm going to turn on the light. Okay. 6 minutes left in the first half. Savannah Bananas. There goes the kick. Right down the middle. So Steelers are up 9-7 with 5:52 left in the half. And George Benson, Pittsburgh native, is the outro music. Give me the night. 'Cause there's music in the air, lots of loving everywhere. So, let's see if I want to make sure I didn't miss any of your chat entries. see. Ah, much better. So what is your remote work? Customer service, data entry, software programming? Testing AI? Finance, okay. My last work at home job was doing intake for Wells Fargo, registering complaints about various things. But I hope you're doing well on that front. Oh, yeah. Some of them were kind of stomach churning. Made by MAGA types, if you know what I mean. So we're back to the action. Or will be soon. Boswell almost ready to kick it off. People are going to people. There goes the kick. Williams feeling it and gets past the 30 to the 34. Oh, that was a job I worked when the insurrection occurred. Or maybe I should quote it as riot. I really don't know what to call it. It was just wrong. It was pure D wrong. That's why I have that here. In the meantime, Love's back to pass, and he hits Fitzpatrick, their backup tight end, and he gets about 4. Second and 6 now. Ball's at the 38. Hands it off to Jacobs, who gets maybe 3. Third and 3 now. Ball's past the 40. Love back to pass. Gets it up. Nope, incomplete. So the Packers will have to punt again. Okay. Say hi to the gal for me. Come back when you can. Whalen back to punt yet again. Punt is away. Fair catch is made at the 16 by Williams. Kayshawn Williams. There's a statue of Fred Rodgers in Pittsburgh. So, see how things are going. Oh, Vancouver's now up 3-0 on Dallas. So that Philadelphia Union Chicago Fire match actually went to overtime and then penalty kicks. So Chicago battling tough. Definitely will have to watch the highlights of that. And it's 6:30. Almost. So the Timbers San Diego Wave game will be starting soon. Tomorrow will be Cincinnati versus Columbus, the Ohio rivalry. Hey, Nash, you just missed Jade again. Your Bills won today convincingly over Carolina. I imagine you're thrilled to death with that. Ooh, how did I get 3 thumbs up? If someone else is here, by all means, come on in and chat. Take off your jacket and stay a while. It's getting colder by the day. Well, that's quite the pumpkin setup. In the meantime, Jalen Warren gets a first down on Pittsburgh's first play, and it's under 4 minutes in the half. As it turns out, every team in the AFC East won, including the Jets. Did not see that coming. Especially since I could see the score up in the left-hand corner of the CBS screen, and the Bengals had the lead all the time. So I don't know what the heck happened there. In the meantime, Warren gets another big run. As it turned out, he didn't get the first down on the previous one. He definitely got it this time. Yeah, the Cards had a bye. Every team in the NFC West had a bye but the Niners, who lost at Houston, which was something of a surprise given the respective records. You had 4 losing teams beating 4 winning teams this week, so the any given Sunday rule definitely wasn't in play this week. And Rodgers, in the meantime, is under center. Does a quick outlet pass to Skowronek, who gets about maybe 6. We're getting close to the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they got a playoff before then. They do. Hand off to Gainwell, who cuts around the end and gets another first down before being forced out of bounds. Gainwell living up to his namesake. 1:57 left. We will have the 2-minute warning commercial. So, earlier in the broadcast, they featured Tucker Kraft, who apparently grew up in South Dakota. I don't know if it was specifically in your neck of the woods, but his hometown had a grand total of 500 people. And then, of course, he went to South Dakota State before being drafted by the Packers. And Green Bay is the largest city he's ever been in. Think about that. I should bring up Google Maps. Gotta get South Dakota back up. Oh, yes, Timberlake. There it is. In between two Native American reservations. Okay, back to the action. Gainwell takes the handoff and only gets a yard. Pittsburgh still has all of their timeouts left. And a hello to whoever's joining me, besides whoever's in chat. Feel free to join me in chat. Take off your jacket and stay a while. Clock's still running, but Rodgers is taking his time. They're deep in Packer territory, and he tried to get a pass off to Calvin Austin, but it was too low and incomplete. So Rodgers is definitely sharing the wealth. All the completions he's made has been to a different player each time. 1:27 left. 3rd and 9. Empty backfield now. Rodgers back to pass, and he's in trouble. Gets the pass off anyway. And we got mucho yellow flags. And it's more than likely pass interference. LaFleur definitely does not look happy. Nixon the guilty party. He did not turn around as Austin was trying to make the grab. And the throwing of the flags were immediate. Rodgers barely avoided a sack. So 122 left. Plenty of time. Given that they're at the Packers 15. It's a handoff to Warren, who is stopped at the 10. Up. Actually, the 12. He got lost in the pile of bodies, but you could eventually see he was down there. Under a minute left. 2nd and 7. Fakes the handoff. Rodgers rolling to his right. He gets it to Metcalf, who's slobber knockered by a Packer out of bounds, but not before getting the first down. That kills the clock. Nixon did a good job of saving the touchdown. Metcalf went out at about the 2.5. 1st and goal. Steelers still haven't used a timeout. Rodgers passes it into Metcalf on a slant route. Touchdown. And the only thing yellow showing up on this is the terrible towels. When you're a defender having to work behind a very tall wide receiver, it's awfully tough to be able to get any traction on defense. Boswell's going to kick the extra point, and it is good. 34 seconds left. Some time left for the Packers, depending on how this return goes, if they return it at all. So ever still with me? Now that we're on commercial? Go ahead, talk to me. How was your day? How was your weekend overall? Any sports news I might have missed? A lot went on. So it's a final in MLS. Vancouver beat Dallas and shut them out. Oh, yeah, Cam Scatterbo dislocated his ankle in the Giants game against the Eagles. That really blows chunks. And it looks like there's going to be another mid-season firing in college football as Brian Kelly, maybe yet another expensive hire that gets 8 figures in buyout money. Boswell has kicked it off, and it just barely avoids going out of bounds and ends up going into the end zone. So it'll be a touchback. That is not a good kick. A rare error for Boswell. Steelers apparently are having issues with an injury on one of their D linemen. Oh, wait, it only went to the 20. Okay, I'll have to look into this issue later on. Love is back to pass. Gets it to Jacobs, who was able to get out of bounds. Just short of the first down, but it does stop the clock. Did take 7 seconds off. Okay, ball is placed in the 28.5. Love's doing the audible thing. He's got to hurry up and snap it. There it goes. Back to pass he is. Gets it. And it was completed to Watson. And he landed in bounds, so the clock kept running, and the Packers were late in calling a timeout. Two seconds have been added, though. So 18 seconds left. But they're at midfield, still have a timeout left. If they eventually shoot for the end zone and don't make it, they still have chances to get downfield. Again, another swing pass to Jacobs. Oh, that only got 2 yards, if anything. And now we got a flag. Whoops. Refs weren't ready for that. Face mask on the defense. Oh, TJ Watt. Yep, that was kind of obvious. Trying to give an offensive lineman shin music. I mean, that was a short gain. Talk about a killer penalty. So automatic first down. He looks very upset, TJ Watt does. Let's see. Ball's at the 36 of Pittsburgh. Love back to pass. Gets it off quick to Malik Heath. And again, they were slow on taking the timeout. Apparently, they're going to settle for a field goal. So they got about 9 on that reception. Okay. Ball was placed at the 26. The kick is going to be from 44 yards out. Oh, I don't think he made it, and he didn't. He hooked it to the left. His left, that is. So 0 for 2. Not particularly good time management by the Packers. Could have had the opportunity for one more play in my mind. Could have gotten them at least close to the field goal range. So, almost done with my tart cherry juice. What a comeback for Justin Fields. So apparently the injury Cam Scadaboo suffered was pretty bad to see. So things keep getting worse and worse for the Giants. Gotta close the blinds. And it is totally dark in Northwest Oregon land. The Silicon Forest. Again, you got a captive audience considering we're at the halftime break. Nothing in particular I want to witness on the TV. So feel free to chat me up. As I look at the ESPN headlines. see, has the soccer game started yet in San Diego? Yes, it has. Well, that's right. I've got to ultimately get through the highlights later tonight of all the games I would be interested in. I'm definitely going to see that Bengals Jets one. That's the ultimate head scratcher, if there ever was one. Oh, Larry Fitzgerald's a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Oh, yeah, Monday night. They're at Dallas, who are reeling and being rocked. I got to see if I can't stream that game or at least watch it. Some weird beeping noise. So NBC News apparently has an exclusive interview with Lionel Messi tomorrow night. So Bret Michaels of Poison is the halftime entertainment. Pennsylvania guy who took off to LA to find fame and fortune. And also found chaos. Yeah, next week will be interesting. Got to see if I can survive my training, my early in the morning training, and then see if I can't do Sunday night and Monday night stuff. Yes, for us Gen Xers, for me, they were something of a guilty pleasure. When I first heard Talk Dirty to Me, I liked the song. Then I saw the band's album cover. Ugh. Their Kiss cover of Rock and Roll All Night was okay. I'll give them that. But after that, you couldn't take the band seriously. Glam metal was never my thing. And welcome back, Jay, by the way. It's as if you and Nash are taking turns on keeping me company. I don't know where he went off to. So Firehouse has a Thanksgiving turkey sub. That looks very good. Unfortunately, I don't know if there are any firehouses, as in restaurants nearby. So the nearest one is in Cedar Hills. Oh, good. You're both here now. Appreciate you taking the time to join me. And we got another person coming in. Howdy. Feel free to chat me up if you want. Take off your jacket and stay a while. They're going over the storylines of how the top defensive players are doing. We know how the field goal kickers are doing. One's doing a lot better than the other. And McManus is going to kick it off. There it goes. Going to be returned by Kenneth Gainwell, who gets it to the 27. About a 26-yard return. Late recorded interview with LaFleur at halftime. So Rodgers is under center. Single setback behind him. Takes the handoff. Rolling out right to try and pass. And he just throws it away. Parsons was the one giving chase. So he earned his keep on that play. Rodgers now in the gun. Jalen Warren is the back to his right. Rodgers back to pass. And ooh! Freiermuth, quick recipient of the outlet pass, and Valentine of Green Bay upended him something fierce. Took a shoulder right to his thigh. Landed on his shoulder. And he's down. Freiermuth apparently is able to get up. Getting the chance from the crowd. Muth. So that stopped the clock, but it's now running again. Apparently, Pittsburgh will host next year's draft. Ball's at the 29, 3rd and 8. Up. Packers are threatening blitz. And he tried to get it to Wilson, number 10. And the Packers looked like they were offsides initially, but no flag was thrown. And Rodgers is livid. So Wyatt was the one that jumped. So 4th and 8. The refs are having a conference now. Wyatt looked offside, and nope, they said no foul. Tomlin's shaking his head. Rodgers is yelling at the refs. Waitman will now punt it away for the Steelers. People talk about ref ball. They also should be talking about lack of ref ball at times. And that was interesting. Looked like a fair catch by Dobbs, and then he decides to take off. So maybe he didn't do the fair catch thing. And in the meantime, got another one of Jade's headbands. There's a ref with his hat off. We have holding by the receiving team during the punt. Bullard, number 20, is the guilty party. He just drags someone down with him. So, Packers moved back. The Packers moved back. As they show the hard-chewing special teams coach for the Steelers, Danny Smith. Starting to make me hungry, even though he's chewing gum. Oh, so the Packers backed all the way up to the 10, and that play didn't help. Jacobs brought down at the line of scrimmage by Jalen Ramsey, number 5, First time I've heard his name tonight. Packers are really in deep. They got to really make something of this. Goes without saying, of course. Love back to pass after faking the handoff. He's going to get it off and is able to complete it to Musgrave. Only gets 5, though. I'm going to get me some gum myself. And some more tart cherry juice. Remember where I put the glass. Okay, there we go. Orange ice cubes. Love is back to pass. Oh, it's caught by Kraft! Love just threw it up for grabs, and now he's all the way in the Steeler territory. Whoa, mama. And there's a Steeler down at Hurt. Wow. I barely get to my chair in time to watch Love under pressure, and he just heaved it. One of those screw it, I know he's down there somewhere passes. And he got held, Kraft did. Love was on his way down. He was hit. Did some nice stiff arming to get that extra yards. Elliott was the one on coverage, and he's the one hurt. Was holding Kraft as he was trying to make his way downfield. Flag was not thrown on that play. Woo! Pack's still in it. Haven't had this in a while. Really good. Cool orange. Icebreakers. I ate a very late breakfast, so I still haven't eaten lunch yet, which will now be more like lunch/dinner. This will have to suffice until then. Was negligent in getting my groceries on time this weekend. It's even better, actually. My last bit of decadence before I go to the dentist tomorrow at noon. Oh, that was good. Orange Tic Tacs are kind of sweet and sour. This is just pure sweetness. Okay. So we're back to the action. Yes, it's gum. Up, Jacobs on the run. Makes a nice gain to get to the 20. That'll be a 6-yarder. I've said it multiple times. I put it up here. I don't think it's tough to tell from that angle. Here, let me just see if. There we go. Okay, Love's under center. Man's in motion. Another handoff to Jacobs, who only gets 2. If ever was a time to get into the end zone, it would be now. This is kind of, even though it's not the fourth quarter yet, it's kind of a must-score TD kind of situation. 3rd and 2. Love hands it off to Jacobs again, but he is stopped short of the first down. The ball was actually placed at the 18.5, so we got about 1.5 yards on that. They're going to go for it. Jacobs is to the right of Love. He faked the pass. They get a pass off the Kraft. Easy first down. They set up to defend the run. Sure, why not, Nash? Doing stuff with the fam. I'm sure you had your good reasons. Ball's at the 10, and it's 1st and goal. Love back to pass. Gets it to Kraft yet again. His safety valve. Gets to the 8. Love was really under pressure. Watt really threw Love to the ground there. Nine minutes left in the 3rd. 1.5 yard gain instead of 2. Love back to pass. He passes it to Williams. Oh, did he make it? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Savion Williams, the little used receiver who has been primarily a special teams guy, at least today. Hadn't heard his name at all before. You doing that for a school report, Nash? Okay, let's see if McMaster can at least make an extra point. Yes, he can. Right down the middle. So, 2-point game. The Packers are back in it. Pack is back in it. And I have muted it. We are now at the commercial break. Who are the players from your hometown? And Jade, why did you retract one of your messages? Oh, okay. I see. Well, again, I appreciate both of you hanging with me. For what's worth, Jade, I actually applied for a job in the Minneapolis area. It's for a semiconductor company. They apparently have offices in Minnesota, or as Steve Harvey, the AP writer for college football, would say, Mini haha. Because when I was growing up and he was writing his column called The Bottom 10, Minnesota was often in it. The Golden Gophers, that is. Joe Crakes and Paul Miller. Okay. And of course, every night on Sunday Night Football, they showcase the local high school talent of where they're at. And Pennsylvania is full of it historically. McManus gets the kick off. Oh, it got muffed. And so Williams, number 85, was able to pick it up, but he didn't get far. It was two guys competing for it at the same time. Well, now you got me interested in your research subjects, and I missed the first play. It was only a 4-yard gain, whatever it was. So Rodgers in the gun. Warren is to his right. Receivers in motion. Rodgers back to pass. Gets it to Metcalf really quick, and he gets a big gain out to midfield. I mean, that was a real zip throw. And Metcalf was uncovered, surprisingly. Looks like they had a zone defense. And Rodgers just threw a straight line right to Metcalf. The ball's officially on the Packers 49, so Steelers are in enemy territory. Rodgers back to pass after getting a high snap. Gets it to Warren, who evades a bunch of tacklers. Finally brought down, but not before getting a first down. Coming up to 7 minutes left in the quarter. Okay, Rodgers back to pass, fakes a throw, and now he's in trouble, and he gets sacked, and the ball may have gotten loose. Green Bay is saying they have it, and the ref is trying to sort things out. And they do! Oh, huge turnover. People are still fighting for it. So 94 got the sack. Oh, he threw it down. And Rodgers got it back, but Rashawn Gary apparently stripped it away while he was on the ground. And we got a little kerfluffle going on because there was quite a bit of extracurricular activity trying to separate people from the ball. So now they're saying incomplete pass. So Steelers luck out there. So 2nd and 10 as a result of it being an incomplete pass. Also the 38. Another quick pass. Oh! Allen Austin bobbled it a couple of times and then got tackled right at the line of scrimmage. So another blood pressure-inducing moment. He brought it in just in time before he got thrown to the ground. Under 6 minutes left. And now Rodgers calls timeout. Time was running out on the play clock. Okay, 3rd and 10. Empty backfield. Rodgers is in the gun. Rodgers back to pass, and it was thrown over DK Metcalf. So 4th down. Valentine, number 24, was on the defense. Nothing. Okay, Boswell with another long field goal and another make. Always down the middle. So, got a timeout. Hope I didn't miss anything in chat. Yeah, Chad Greenway is a name I'm more familiar with, and one that Jade should be familiar with since he wasn't with the Vikings. So I did end up looking up those two guys you were looking up. Sons of Platte, South Dakota. You all are a long ways away from whatever metropolitan area you're supposed to be by. Got 366th Avenue and 275th Street. Okay. So, almost at halftime in the soccer game in San Diego, still no score. Okay. Green Bay gets the ball back. They were able to return it to the 22. Love is now under center. Man's in motion. Love fakes the handoff, is back to pass. Scrambling, and now gets the ball off. And breaking tackles is Emmanuel Wilson, getting the first down the process. Nice job, young man. And Love took a beating just after he got the pass off. So a short pass that could have been a what type of deal turns into a big gain thanks to Wilson. And he's still out there. Now to Love's left as Kraft is in motion. Wilson gets the handoff this time. Able to bounce off a few tacklers before being brought down at the 40. And there's another Steeler being tended to and apparently brought out on a cart. That's Elliott. The guy who gave up that long reception and then landed badly on his foot afterwards. 4 minutes left in the quarter. Love's in the gun. Malik Heath's in motion. He gets the ball on the pass from Love and gets the first down. Ramsey came very close to roughing the player out of bounds penalty. Love under gun, hands it off to Wilson yet again, who gets across the 50 into Steelers territory to the 47. Under 3 minutes now. Second and 4 now. Love back to pass. Again, throws it out really quick. Gets it to Gold this time, who's right at the first down marker. And they will give him the first down. Under 2 minutes in the quarter. Love back to pass. Gets it out to Jacobs, who's there now. Does a nice stiff arm, but can't get past Ramsey. Does a nice lower leg tackle. Only 2-yard gain. Second and 8. Hand off to Jacobs. He only gets a yard. TJ Watt brought him down quickly. Now exactly 1 minute left in the quarter. Love in the gun. Doing the audible thing. Back to his right. Now we got a blitz by the Steelers, but Love is able to get a long one away. Oh, he got to Watson at the 6. Woo-wee! And now we got laundry. And the Packers better hope and pray it's not on them. Holding on the defense. Penalty is declined. All right, the ball was placed at the 7. Hand off to Jacobs, who's patiently waiting behind the line. Grinds it out to about the 3, maybe the 2. Interesting subject there, Nash. Yeah, because he's never played the Packers as an opposing player until now. So we got a timeout since the third quarter is now ended. Got yet another Josh Allen commercial. I don't know who he's working with. Must be one of his teammates. But when you're covered in a big white ball, it's hard to make you out. Well, I'm guessing Brady would be one of the other 5. I wonder who the other 3 are. You able to look that up for me? Okay. 2nd and goal now. Action is back. Another really good primetime game. It's as if the football god said, America, you've suffered enough. We're going to make things exciting for you on primetime NFL games. Love is in the gun. Hands it off to Jacobs, who runs out on the outside, and he gets the touchdown. Pack is in the lead again, and they're going to go for 2. And I kind of question this always when you could take 1 point. And Jacobs just outraced everyone that was trying to chase him. Great blocking on the outside to initially spring him. So Wilson in the backfield this time as Jacobs gets a breather. Love's in the gun. Back to pass. Wide open Romeo Doubs for 2. The conversion's good as Doubs does his stare into the crowd. So, well done by the Packers there. Up by 3 now. Okay. Favre, Manning, Breeze, and Brady. Yeah, no surprise. All those guys hung in there till they were about 40. Some to their detriment. I read an article about how Manning had, in his last year as a Bronco, needed a ton of help just to get out of his uniform, and the padding underneath took all of 15 minutes to do because he couldn't move on his own. He was so sore. So we see Packer backers and cheeseheads sprinkled in the crowd as we come back to the action. McManus kicks it off. Gainwell has the return from the 7. Gets past the 20, but can only get to the 23 after that. And now it's Pittsburgh's turn to try and take the lead back. Considering how lethargic he looked when he was with the Jets, it's a daily wonder he's doing as well as he is. But Pittsburgh has a better O-line. And they are better at concentrating on the run. Rodgers fakes the handoff, goes back to pass. Oh, and just as I say about that, he gets sacked. Micah Parsons. And he was triple teamed throughout that play. Got by Smith, got through 2 of the O-linemen. That was a 10-yard loss. Rodgers now back to pass again. This time he's going to run it out and throws it at the feet of Smith. He was being chased. Rodgers almost got him again. Parsons almost got Rodgers again. He had actually tried to do the strip sack. Just missed it. So 3rd and 20. Ball at the 13. Rodgers back to pass. He gets the ball off quickly to Smith. But he doesn't even get to the 20. Oh, yeah. Mahomes, if he ever leaves the Chiefs, he'll have a chance to join that elite club. I don't know if that'll happen. It's still too early for him. He only just turned 30. And he's a treat to watch. I know that there's a lot of hate now for the Chiefs because of all the success they've had. They've turned into what the Patriots were. But as long as Mahomes does crazy stuff as a quarterback and does it well, I'm not going to hate on him or the Chiefs. And they also get a lot of hate because Swift is engaged to Kelsey as Romeo Doubs returns the punt past the 40. Gets about 13 yards. And now, we got another skirmish going on. And, refs go down and flags go down subsequently. Unless that's somebody's piece of uniform or a towel. So, gonna be a convocation of the referees here. So as Ben Skoranek of the Steelers was being double teamed onto the ground, one of his teammates took offense and knocked one of the offenders and got busted. Tomorrow night, the Chiefs, speaking of Mahomes, play the Commanders on Monday night. I got to see if that's going to be available on ABC. And yes, it will. Nice. Okay. Time to continue eating the gum away. My sugar buzz is getting higher and higher every day. 3 more. I see. Yeah, Tarkenton played for both the Giants and the Vikings, and Montana played for the Niners and Chiefs. Both Hall of Famers. The last Super Bowl Tarkenton played in with the Vikes is the one I first remember watching. Unfortunately, the wrong team won. Factory that makes terrible towels. And Renegade is playing. The fourth quarter tradition. You wonder why they chose that song, considering the band's from Chicago. Styx, that is. And a handoff to Wilson, who gets a lot of yardage. Finally brought down at the 30. Well, they're really moving now. Patrick Queen, one of the two to bring him down, the other being Porter Jr. But not before he got the first down. He's playing really well tonight. Love now back to pass. Gets it out to Wilson out on the edge and is thrown out of bounds by TJ Watt. One of those undrafted free agents, Wilson is. Love back to pass. He gets it out. Again, out on the edge, this time to Tucker Kraft. And with all the injuries that are happening in the league lately, a lot of chances for young guys who weren't drafted to potentially make it. Now we got another injury timeout. And that was the blocker, the offensive lineman number 50. I think it may have been Zach Tom, who had, if I'm not mistaken, been out a while earlier in the season. Now he's back, and now he's hurt again. Oh, he was stepped on by one of his own linemen, number 77, Morgan. So Tom goes out momentarily. He was able to walk off on his own power. 3rd and 4. Ball at the 24. Love back to pass. Able to get quickly out, and again we got a Tucker Kraft catch, and again he escapes the defenders and gets a touchdown. I mean, he's been zipping it out like gangbusters as soon as he gets the ball hiked. I don't know if that was a pick play, but Kraft had no one around him, and the ones that got there chased him, and all to no avail. And McManus is at least able to kick extra points, so it's 29-19. And he may be the MVP of National Tight Ends Day. I saw George Kittle make a catch earlier for a touchdown. Oh, Alex Smith also got 31. Wow. Stafford's close. Wilson's close. Big Ben and Kerry Collins got close. Yeah, those guys all had long careers. And were also they at least got Super Bowl bound, even if they didn't win it or didn't play in it. Like Smith, he was a backup by the time he was able to get to one for the Niners. He came close so many times as a starter, either with the Niners or the Chiefs or the Redskins. Collins made it to a Super Bowl with the Giants, but they got plowed under by the Ravens. So those two guys you mentioned from your hometown, they didn't do too terribly bad. Each played in the league for 3 years at least, which was that's about the average for being in the NFL. And Miller was able to taste glory with Curly Lambeau and the Packers. Fallon's going to be on early for the Tonight Show, and Florence and the Machine is going to be a musical guest. I think I'm going to try and check that out. In the meantime, McManus is ready to kick it off once again. Williams takes it at about the 2, able to get to the 20, the 25, and that is where he stayed. Rodgers is coming out. And he's got to help dig his team out of a 10-point hole. Oh, the Bills will play the Chiefs next week. That'll be a big game to watch in the afternoon. Okay, we have a run by Warren, who gets 4. Flacco and Cousins, they could make it. Okay. Who are the teams those two need to beat still? Serious audibling done. A pitch to Warren. Trying to get a first down. Close, but no cigar. And we're approaching 10 minutes left in the game. And now we got laundry yet again as the chippiness continues. Quay Walker and DK Metcalf were getting in it. Oh, and Metcalf tried to poke his eye out. Oh, and then he grabs him by the face mask. Ugh. Bengals and the Chiefs. Okay. So 3rd and 17 now because of that penalty. And we can hear the Go Pack Go chant now in earnest. Flacco is the Ravens and the Seahawks, naturally. Rodgers back to pass, and he is sacked yet again. Rashawn Gary in the mix. Love's getting his helmet on. Looks like the Steelers will go ahead and punt it. Waitman gets the punt off. Dobbs will receive it at the 38, gets out of the tackle, and cannot get out of the next one, gets to the 44 and a half. Flacco could potentially face the Ravens again. So that would be Elway. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Let's see. Although he retired before the Texans came on and the reconstituted version of the Browns, I think the best he could have done was 30. Let's take a look at the barring a potential trade again that would involve him. Flacco could face. Oh no! Wait a minute. Gotta look at. Okay. So the Bengals have yet to face the Ravens. They'll be able to do so twice. So he could make it 31. He has 2 chances. And the action has returned. And we have Tucker Kraft highlights of high school for Kraft. What are you doing, Tuck? A headbutt without a helmet, even if it is your own teammate and it wasn't terribly serious. Here's another CTE candidate waiting to happen. Love passes and gets it completed to Christian Watson. How glad is he to have Watson back? Oh, LA beat the Ravens. Okay, well, yeah, they had become the Ravens just before he retired. So it would be the second iteration of the Browns, and then the Texans he probably wouldn't have faced. Love's earning his keep too, as we have a handoff to Jacobs, who only gets to the line of scrimmage. So all the guys who scored touchdowns on tight ends day: Harold Fannin of the Browns and Dallas Goedert of the Eagles, in addition to Kittle. And the Packers are going to take their time getting out of the huddle as we approach the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Oh, only the Texans he didn't face? Okay. Love back to pass. He gets it to Golden, who wound up going backwards and may have not gained anything. A bit Tom Cruise behavior, trying to pass when you don't need to. Thankfully, it was completed and not fumbled, so the clock continues to go down. And Golden went down awkwardly on that tackle. They give Golden a yard. Love back to pass. Gets it and completes it to Romeo Doubs. He's forced out of bounds. Does a little pose, if you will. Madonna would like that. Just ran a corner out and was wide open. Got to the 13 of Pittsburgh. Clock continues to run. Hands it off. Wilson this time gets 3.5. Past the 10. Oh, Kenny Stabler and Bradshaw. Boy, you're really in the research mode tonight. Love has 20 straight completions. He's really earning his keep. A lot of people weren't crazy about his contract, especially when he struggled. Back to pass again, but it's incomplete. Had a guy in his face as he was trying to pass to Kraft. It stops the clock. You don't want that to happen. Love is going to come pretty close to a perfect quarterback rating, I believe. Okay, 3rd and 6. Love back to pass again. Tried to float it to Wilson, but he floated it too high. So 5:31 left. McManus will try a field goal. It's cross your fingers and your toes time. Can I get my feet up in the air? Yes. There we go. If you can't see it, but I'm crossing my toes. Ugh. Good thing this office chair can bend really far back. A 28-yard this time, and easy. So, anyone who had him on their fantasy team can be thankful. I need to refill my tart cherry juice cup. My throat's getting a workout today. Been a while since I've talked this long on a stream. Thanks to my super fans, Nash and Jade. Midwest representing. Great Lakes and the Great Plains. Okay. Yeah, a lot of legends. Oh. Up San Diego's leading Portland in the soccer game 2-1. Darn it. It's a big ask of the Timbers to beat the best in the West. Another expansion team doing well at the beginning, like St. Louis 2 years ago. How far they've fallen. They've now gone 2 straight years out of the playoffs. So it's a 2-possession game. Only 5:30 left really in the game to go. No, I did not see that. Allen's going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Okay, so 5:28 left as McManus prepares to kick, and it is away. Kickoff taken at the 5, and Gainwell slipped. So he was only able to get past the 20 to the 23. So the Steelers cannot afford to do the dink and dunk game. Rodgers back to pass. And unfortunately, he has to throw it short, and Freiermuth can't even keep it. So incomplete. 2nd and 10. And there's the Go Pack Go chant again. Quite a few Steelers fans appear to have left the game already. Rodgers back to pass. Again, he has to do it short. Oh, he loses the ball. Does Gainwell. Packers claim they have it. And they do. Cooper knocked it out, number 56, and Bullard, number 20, was the one who recovered it after first pushing Gainwell out of the way. And that's actually the first turnover of the game. Oh, no, wait, second. No, wait. The one that we thought was a fumble on Rodgers was an incomplete pass. It should have been intentional grounding. So, yeah, that's the first turnover of the game. Although there are a couple of Butterfingers moments. That's the first one that resulted in a turnover. And if the Packers are smart, they'll just go ahead and run the ball. Milson's the one in the backfield. They toss it to him. And he gets a nice gain running behind the O-line and gets a first down. Pittsburgh has 2 timeouts left. Don't know if they'll bother to use them, considering how close the Packers are to scoring. If they can hold them to a field goal, it would still be a 2-possession game. Ball's at the 14, or just shy of it. Another toss to Wilson again. He gets past the 10. He's actually called down at the 10. So they're showing the Packers' upcoming schedule. Got a couple of other NFC teams to play the next 3 weeks, and then the 3 weeks after that, it's all NFC North teams. So 2nd and 6, and the Steelers did call a timeout after that play. Another handoff. And another timeout has been called by the Steelers, it looks like. And Steelers are out of timeouts. And the Steelers' schedule. They have to play the Colts next. And then again on Sunday Night Football after that, they'll face the Chargers. And as the only team in the AFC North with a winning record, they'll face teams with losing records in their division a little later on. 3rd and 3. Love fakes the handoff, is going to try and pass. But as he was about to get dumped, he had to just throw it towards the ground and make it incomplete. So McNass comes back out to try yet another field goal. I don't know about you, Nash. It's obviously a little past your bedtime, but I'm gonna be watching Grossi's replay of this. I'm sure he's tickled to death. It's a 25-yard attempt here, and the kick is good. And yeah, a significant portion of the crowd is left. So the Packers have outscored the Steelers in the second half 28-3. 28-3. Falcons fans don't want to hear that. Okay. McManus kicked it off. It was taken back at the end zone by Gainwell, who get it to the 25. Ugh. $3:52 left in the game. Oh, so that explains the jersey motif. They were once the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rodgers completes it to Austin for 8, and he's able to get out of bounds, so that stops the clock. Again, the Steelers are out of timeouts. Rodgers back to pass. He gets it to Wilson, number 10. He's able to get out of bounds too and able to get the first down. So it's still a two-possession game. The best the Steelers can do is tie it up. Rodgers back to pass. Gets it to Wilson, who again gets out of bounds for a short gain. It's a player for the Steelers undergoing treatment on the sideline. Rodgers back to pass again, and that was batted in the air, and it falls incomplete. So 3rd and 5. 3:32 left. Right. In fact, that was during World War II. At one point, they were also combined with the Eagles, so they were called the Steagles. I don't know if that was before Card Pit or after. Well, you can really hear Go Pack Go in the stadium now as Rodgers goes back to pass again, and he gets a long one away, but incomplete. Smith tried to one-hand it for the Steelers. Yeah. But the NFL was on the ropes back in the 40s, along with the NHL. There were no pro leagues for basketball. I mean, baseball was the only safe sport. They even introduced women's baseball. If you've watched A League of Their Own, Rodgers back to pass. He's able to get the first down to DK Metcalf, who gets in the Packer territory. And they got to hustle up. Clock is getting close to 3 minutes. Rodgers back to pass. He gets it to Freiermuth, who gets about 5.5 yards. Way in bounds, so the clock again continues to run under 3 minutes now. Oh, before, okay. Rodgers again back to pass. Now he's forced to scramble, but gets it out to Austin. Another first down. Oh, yeah, there's a 2-minute warning, so the clock can stop for that. But he's continuing to move on. Rodgers again back to pass. And he throws to the end zone. Oh, he caught it! No, he didn't! Oh, he had it! And he stepped under the end zone, and then he lost the handle on it. That does not count as a catch. Oh, Valentine broke it up. Oh. And then we come to the point where we play the game, what is a catch? Oh, they counted as a touchdown. Roman Wilson. And now we got more chippiness going on. Oh, yeah, they got to go for 2. So if they can't get it here, the touchdown's a moot point. Okay. This is the game here. Rodgers back to pass. He floats it. And we have a flag. Washington was battling with Valentine for the ball. And it looks like it'll be pass interference. Yeah, the Cardinals were in Chicago during the war. They moved to St. Louis in the 50s. And yeah, the holding was kind of obvious by Valentine on Washington. So they get to retry the 2 again. We'll see if they try and run it in this time. They are going in I formation with the big... Oh, wait a minute. Now everyone goes in motion. And a 3 set wide out. Rodgers passes it, and he gets it to Smith. No! He dropped it. He had it, and he dropped it too. They call it incomplete. And Rodgers disgustedly takes his chin strap off. Let's take a look. It bobbled a little initially. He caught it in his hands, and then it went out after the initial 2 steps. And Terry McCauley is explaining why they're using replay assist on the Wilson touchdown. Because the Steelers didn't have any timeouts, they couldn't challenge it on their own. Good night, Nash. I don't blame you. It was fun chatting with you. Have a good week of school. In the meantime, for whoever's left, we're going to have an attempt at an onside kick by Boswell. And Dobbs got it. Runs out of bounds to ensure that it doesn't get fumbled. Smart, big brain move there. And I just heard that Cleveland actually was able to get an onside kick today. So Yeah, they played New England. Had a lot of good it did them. They got blown out by the Patriots. So 2:06 left. They got to get off. They should get it. They need to get at least one first down because the 2-minute warning will come up soon. And it's a handoff to a back number I haven't seen before. Oh, no, wait, it was Wilson. So 2-minute warnings here. I wonder if this will be scoregami. Not seen this score before. Okay, only 3 games have had this, but when it's at least one, there's no scoregami. So Wilson got 3 on that carry. It's 2nd and 7 now. Oh, the Devils lost to Houston at home. It was rough. They were way behind early, tried to come back, and fell just short. Thanks for asking, though. So it's going to be tough for them to try and get the Big 12 championship. Back to the action. And wait, now we got timeout by Green Bay? Ugh. Oh, Nash, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I'm not sure I may be streaming games anymore. My new work schedule happens on the weekend, including Monday. Yeah, 40-9. Only 3 games had that score, too. Yeah, it's going to be a wait-and-see thing next weekend. My shift isn't during the hours of the action, but it's so early, I don't know if I'll be sleeping on Sunday during the NFL's prescribed viewing period. Wilson just got a gain, so he got a first down, and that ought to do it. So good night, Nash. Thanks for staying with me. You and Jade both. So Tucker Kraft's mom works for an agency my dad used to work for, the Indian Health Service. As Mr. Spock would say, fascinating. So Green Bay won. Rodgers, don't know if he'll get a chance to play the Packers again in his career. Yes, we had 2 scoregamis before. 3, 2, 1. It's officially over. See you maybe next weekend. Bye-bye. Bye, Bonds.